what if this was the soundtrack to Mortal Kombat? How do we make it sound like it's a Michael Bay film? And let's go at it that way. Whereas everything else is very much piano based and kind of mellow and laid back.
This is all about you and the new reimagined songs that you guys did and how you got into music and all that good stuff. So first off, where were you born and raised?
In Portland, Oregon. Yeah. Me and the dudes we're all from Portland and grew up here.
What was that like? I mean, that's a big scene as far as music, right?
Yeah, it really was thriving for a long time, and still is in a lot of ways in some of the different genres. In rock music, we had our rock radio station shut down maybe 6 or 7 years ago. So we kind of took a little bit of a hit there. Maybe the rock scene wasn't as popular as it used to be with that, and we don't get some of the bigger rock shows that come through, but largely, yeah, the scene is very much thriving, and it seems like with all the venues opening back up after COVID that we haven't really missed a beat. People are getting back out and doing that thing. So
it's cool. I didn't realize that the rock stations. I've been in radio for a long time. That you guys still have the alternative station though there, right? Isn't there an alternative station in Portland?
Yeah, we have a couple. Yeah, we have a couple alternative stations, and then what do they call it? Maybe adult contemporary. But we got a couple classic rock stations too. So,
but there's not like a strictly rock station there anymore.
Yeah, not like an active rock station.
That's a bummer. So grew up in Portland. How did you get into music?
Personally, I got in from my grandfather. He taught me how to play guitar when I was probably 4th grade, maybe 10 years old, something like that. And yeah, I've been rocking ever since. Started the first band in high school, and played the first show, and got to kind of feel what that was like, and kind of wanted to do it ever since.
That's cool. So high school band. How long were you guys together? Just up through high school, or like when did
oh man, yeah, probably not very long.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been a band. Veio has been a band for let's see, I've been with these guys. I think we've been a band for about 5 years now.
Okay. And how did you meet the rest of the guys, and how did Veio start?
Yeah, so Brett and Cam are brothers, obviously. So I found these guys on Craigslist.
Really?
Of all places, yeah. And anybody that's done the Craigslist thing knows it's real hit or miss, and mostly miss. So it's fortunate to find a couple other like-minded guys, that wanted to make music.
So they just had like an ad up or something? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah. So interesting enough, in their ad, it's like bands that they like. There's a band out of Australia called Carnival. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but tremendous underrated band, progressive metal band. And I'm like, whoa, these guys know Carnival? No one knows this band. I got to hit these guys up and see what this is about.
So then you hit them up, and then what was it like? Did you have to go audition for them, or were they just mainly jamming at the time? Was it Veio yet?
It was Veio. And there wasn't really much of an audition. I think, whatever I sent them, they knew I could play per se. It was more about, we got together and just kind of hung out a bit, and just making sure that we all, kind of connected and could hang out. Anybody that's, been in a band for a while can tell you that, the personal relationships are probably more important than maybe some of the other things, like being the best guitar player out there, right? It's can you handle being around these guys, especially long periods of time in the back of a bus or whatever. So
yeah, what was it like in the early days of Veio? Were you like just playing local shows? Like, when did the ball kind of start getting rolling for you?
Yeah, actually the first show I ever played with these guys, we did it in Spokane, over in Eastern Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It's about maybe 6-hour drive from here. But pretty much when we started, we were still trying to play, regionally, in the around the Northwest and stuff. I think we did, maybe even our first California run within, 6 months of me being on. And then we released our first album and started touring.
Wow. So you guys put that record out almost right away, huh? Or pretty quickly?
Yeah, let me think about it. So we got together in I want to say maybe late 2016 or early 2017, and we put out Infinite Light in March of 2018.
Oh wow, so it was fast.
Yeah.
And then did you just book your own tour, like get on a support tour? Like how did that work?
Yeah. It was we booked our own tour, did all that. It's learned a lot that first tour about promotion and how to properly get people out to a show on a Tuesday night in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, and back in the van, all that. And it's kind of grown since then, but good times.
Sure. And then you released the reimagined version of your second record, what, recently? But when did that other album came out in 2020? Is that right?
Yeah. So we put out some singles before then. A big push. We were able to get our single Flair of Defiance into the top 30 at Active Rock Radio.
That's huge. All
And
independently, or did you guys get on a label at this point?
we are not on a label.
Yeah, so it's all independently. To get on the radio, that's huge.
And right before COVID hit, we were literally on a little acoustic radio tour, going around and playing some stations around the Midwest and that thing. And we got back, and it was like the next week they shut everything down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So is the record out yet, or you were just putting out the singles and promoting it kind of since it got on the air and everything?
We put it out in June of 2020.
Okay.
And so it's been out a little over a year now. In part, we like to experiment. We're getting more into maybe the electronic ambient side of things, and we wanted to kind of reimagine the tracks that way. But two, we were trying to get some more focus and attention on an album that kind of got lost amidst all the shuffle that was when COVID happened. So
sure. Yeah, that must have been rough. I mean, you guys put this record out, you had a lot of momentum going, and then everything kind of came to a halt.
It's about right. And it might sound selfish, but it's there's so many other bands that were doing the same thing too, and we were all in the same boat where you're out there and you're pushing an album and new music, and you're putting all your time and effort and resources behind it, only to kind of have it die on the vine. And especially for a band like ourselves that were really still very much in the beginning stages and trying to make a name for ourselves. It definitely hurt. And now we're kind of in the midst of doing the same thing of putting out singles and starting the whole kind of process over. So
oh my gosh. So once you got back, was there a thought like, okay, what do? Do we hold on to the record and just hope that this thing blows over and we're able to get back on it? Or like, how'd you guys execute that?
Yeah, there's some of that. It's again, that was part of the reimagined stuff. It's like, how do we get some more ears on this thing? But now I think more so, during COVID, we're writing, we've recorded some stuff now. And I think, we're even more excited about the new stuff moving forward, that we're ready to start kicking off new stuff. And I think we'll have a single out maybe in the next month or so. So
wow, that's huge. Well, tell me how the reimagined conversation began, and why did you guys choose those 4 songs? Like how'd that all kind of come together?
Sure. Yeah, the theme of it is we wanted to put maybe a more electronic ambient spin on it for the most part, maybe with Flair of Defiance being the exception. For that one, we were very much like, well, what if this was the soundtrack to Mortal Kombat? How do we make it sound like it's a Michael Bay film? And let's go at it that way. Whereas everything else is very much piano based and kind of mellow and laid back, which is the opposite vibe of the album. It's very much up tempo and in your face and big arena rock type of record. So we really just wanted to contrast it and maybe show that we have some depth and a softer side as well. But we still tried to make it not feel so like acoustic versions of tracks. We
Mhm.
wanted to do something that was maybe a little bit more outside the box than what some people have done in the past.
Was it difficult to do that with the songs, or was it like you had to pick certain songs that you knew it would work for, or?
Yeah, we definitely picked certain songs we knew it would work for. And then it was challenging from the perspective that we, um, myself, just in the last couple of years, have really started to dive in more into the electro side of things and getting more into that style, and working with synths and kind of learning that instrument, so to speak. And I've really taken to it now. I get really excited about the stuff, whereas maybe before I might have been a little bit snobby with I want real instruments and real people playing those instruments. Now
Sure.
the deeper that I'm getting into it, I really have an appreciation for those people that can do that.
Mhm. Is that something you started to take up during quarantine? I mean, now you have time on your
Very,
hands.
yeah, very much so. Very much so. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. And you said you guys are already working on new stuff. You have a new song coming out fairly soon.
Yeah, fairly soon. We have we're not quite sure which one we're gonna put out, but we have 2 songs right now that that we're feeling good about, that I think we're gonna release here pretty soon, probably when we start our tour here in August. So
Awesome. That's really cool. So you're coming out next month then, huh? You're gonna get back on the road then?
yeah, we'll be out with Alisana and Picturesque.
Mhm.
We're starting in North Carolina, heading up to New Jersey, over to the Midwest, and then finishing off. I think we've got 5 dates in Texas,
That's awesome.
and in the middle of August. So
That'll be nice and perfect weather. Perfect timing.
perfect timing.
That's cool though. Are you excited? Have you had a chance to play at all yet in front of people?
No, and on top of that, our we will be playing with a touring drummer that's coming out with us, and it's our first time playing with him, and so we're just getting ready to start practicing to head out there, and we're excited to shake the rust off. So
That's cool. I'm sure people are gonna go crazy. I mean, especially people that hadn't had a show. Maybe your show will be the first one they've seen in a year and a half. That'll be
yeah,
exciting,
and that's
emotional, I'm
yeah,
sure.
very very much so. Hopefully, and we'll all be shaking off the rust together.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys have done a couple of pretty amazing cover songs. I mean, "Hey Man, Nice Shot." Why did you go with "Filter"?
We were very much inspired by a lot of the music from sort of that time. The 90s. They were
90s.
still doing musically, they were doing compositional and melodic things that maybe aren't so popular nowadays. They were maybe willing to take some more chances, and had some support behind that. And that song is one of the iconic songs from that time period. And we definitely wanted to pay homage to the original track, but still try to put our own Veio spin on it. So
I like it. You did a great job. And
thank
then
you.
you covered "Rooster" from Alice in Chains.
Rooster, we just released a music video today. It's out on
Uh-huh.
YouTube. And yeah, kind of the same rationale. We're huge Alice in Chains fans, right, as are many people. And Rooster is just one of those tracks that it's awesome. And we've already gotten some people that are like, hey, you can't touch that song.
Oh,
And
some haters already, huh?
yeah, and we knew we were going to get some of that. There's a lot of passionate Alice in Chains fans, and I'm sure we all have those bands that we're passionate about, or songs that it's like it's great, but I'm kind of that challenge and kind of do the same thing. And it definitely is an evolution of what we're trying to do with the reimagined tracks. We added some more electronic elements in there, but we still tried to do capture the dynamics and the passion of the original track, and try to do that.
Yeah, I think it's a great version. And I mean, to get a nod from Spotify too. I mean, obviously it wasn't, you guys didn't butcher the song by any means.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was cool to land on the covers playlist too. So
That's amazing. Well, I'm excited for you guys. I'm sure you're excited to get back on the road.
yeah, very much so. It's it's been too long, and we're fortunate that we're able to get right back out as soon as things have started opening up, and try to get some of that momentum going. Like so many other bands, we had stuff booked, we were ready to rock and roll, we were set to hit the road, and then all that happened. So yeah, we're excited to get back out there and start playing this album live. It's we're playing all the stuff off of Vitruvian, and we haven't had a chance to play a lot of these songs yet, so it's gonna be fun.
That's cool. And the headliner's celebrating what, 10-year anniversary of a
10-year
record?
anniversary. Yeah.
So that is it, a record, a 10-year anniversary of their record, or as a
Yes,
band?
it is.
That's what I thought. So I'm sure people are gonna be super excited for that as well. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of energy there.
I think there were 3 or 4 shows that sold out on the first day.
Oh wow.
And it's a combination of how passionate Alisana fans are in general. And I think people are really excited to get back out and see live music again.
Sure. Are you I mean, were you fans of that record? It's gonna be pretty cool to be able to see them play that every night.
So I saw them play that record 10 years ago, or maybe around that time. Excuse me, here in Portland at one of the venues.
Really?
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool to how everything kind of comes to fruition in the end. So
what a full circle thing. Do you know the guys in Alisana, and have you told them that story before?
No, I haven't, and they will definitely hear it. And we one of our crew that we take out with us that does our music video work. He is one of the biggest Alisana fans on the planet. So I think he'll be really ecstatic to meet all those guys as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll fangirl a ton. And we went out with and this the Alisana and that scene is very much his thing. We went out with Seether, and I think he's like, oh yeah, Sean Morgan, nice to meet you. And we went out with Tremonti, met Mark Tremonti, and it's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you, I'm a big fan. This one, he's like, you guys are going out with Alisana, this is gonna be so great. I can't wait.
That's hilarious. That's so cool. Well, Good luck on the tour. I mean, that's amazing. It's cool that stuff's already sold out. I'm sure that'll be really, really exciting. A lot of energy and a lot of emotion there. And thank you so much, Chris, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Good chatting with you.
I have one more question for you. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Oh, so much. One, don't listen to haters, because if you did, everybody would tell you that you're not good enough and you'll never be able to accomplish what you want to do. Definitely take time to practice honing on your craft. Definitely learn everything you can. If you really want to pursue this, learn everything you can about the business, not just musical compositions or things like that. And if you really have the passion and you want to do it, just keep doing it. And there is light at the end of the tunnel once you kind of start figuring out how things work. It's not this impossible thing. So